Good morning, children, to another session. In the first part of lesson number 5, Grandpa Tickles a Tiger, we discussed about the words which are associated with tiger. Okay, and we also come to know that how grandfather discovered a tiger and who named the tiger Timothy. The name it was given by grandmother. And we also come to know about the two companions of Timothy and how they used to play with him. And we also come to know about Timothy's favorite amusements. Okay, now moving further, we will start with page number 61. Okay, so let's get started. So here we left actually on 61 page, last passage. He was by this time the size of a full grown retriever. Okay, what is the meaning of retriever here? Yes, what is retriever? Retriever, a dog with heavy water resistant coat that can be trained to retrieve game. Now you can see the picture of the retriever dog as well. Here it is. Okay, so he was by this time the size of a full grown retriever, and when I took him out for a walk, people on the road would give us a wide berth. What do you mean by wide berth? Give us a wide berth. It already given in your text, you can see in the box. Remain at a safe distance from us. When he pulled hard on his chain, I had difficulty in keeping up with him. His favorite place in the house was the drawing room. See, children, here that tiger, which should be kept in a jungle, forest, because they are wild animal. Now here in the story, actually, this tiger got a different surrounding, and even actually he was brought up on bottle. Okay, he was fed milk, right, as we also taking, right? So here he was surrounded by human beings. He was surrounded by people, not animals, right? So when the narrator, he was taking him out for a walk. Okay, so he was called retriever, as you can see here on the screen what retriever means, and the dog as well. Okay, so he was fully grown, and this type of dog actually they are what little bit taller as well. Okay, as you can see in the picture also, that boy, that means the narrator, who is taking him for a walk. So people on the road would give us a wide berth. That means because they are scared of. Okay, so they are keeping a safe distance from that animal, this animal, Timothy. And even sometimes this narrator was also having the difficulty to hold him. Okay, and his favorite place in the house was the drawing room. And here one more question it is, how big is a retriever? Was anyone taken a big dog for a walk? So this question depends upon whether you have taken or you are having pet animal dog like a retriever, as you can see in the picture. So they are taller and having hair, a lot of hairs. So you have to give this answer, right? Now, moving to the next page. Okay, so he would make himself comfortable on the long sofa, reclining there with great dignity and snarling at anybody who tried to get him off. So, this was his favorite place. Understood? So, let us see actually what is the meaning of reclining. It is lean in a comfortable resting position. So, his favorite place actually it was, he was very much comfortable on the long sofa. Okay, and he was resting there, comfortable there, having a great respect. Okay, and the sound they make such a snarling, animal. And whosoever tried him off or get him off from there, that means if they wanted him to come down, so he used to snarl. Okay, so nobody has the courage to do that then. Now, Timothy had clean habits and would scrub his face with his paws exactly like a cat. If you have seen cat, how they used to rub with their paws, their face. He slept at night in the cook's quarter. And who was cook? You know very well. Mahmud. And was always delighted at being let out by him in the morning. Okay, so he was having clean habit. He used to sleep at cook's quarter and becoming very happy actually when he was taken out in the morning by Mahmud. One of these days, declared grandmother in her prophetic manner. What do you mean by prophetic? That is foretelling events as if by supernatural intervention. That means if you can see in a future, that means if you can see the future or you're guessing what it would be in the future, so that is called a prophetic manner. So grandmother was having doubts. She declared that might be one day what happened. We are going to find Timothy sitting on Mahmud's bed and no sign of the cook except his clothes and shoes. That means she means and she wants to say that might be in the future because he is tiger and now fully grown up. Okay, so might be one day this tiger would kill him because sometimes she used to find that actually Mahmud is not there and his clothes and shoes are there and Timothy was sitting on the bed. So she was having doubt. Of course, it never came to that. That means it never happened. But when Timothy was about 6 months old, a change came over him. He steadily grew less friendly. When out for a walk with me, he would try to steal away to stalk a rat or someone's pet Pekingese. Sometimes at night, we would hear frenzied cackling from the poultry house, and in the morning, there would be feathers lying all over the veranda. Timothy had to be chained up more often. And finally, when he began to stalk Mahmud about the house with what looked like villainous intent, grandfather decided it was time to transfer him to a zoo. See, here are some words like Pekingese. What does it mean by Pekingese? A small dog with short legs and long, silky. Right? Then, frenzied, wildly excited. Okay. So, here Now Timothy was becoming less friendly. When he was 6 months old, he was changed. He was steadily growing less friendly. When he used to go out for a walk with the narrator, sometimes actually he used to steal away. That means secretly actually he used to stalk a rat or someone's pet Pekingese. Pekingese means a small dog. So he was following secretly. That means stalking. Okay. So in the way that means might be actually he want to kill or eat. Sometimes at night, even their family members, that means grandfather, family members, they used to hear in the night there is frenzied, that means wildly excited cackling from the poultry house. So they are having the fear whether this uh, Timothy is out there or wants to eat chickens, hens, and in the morning there would lie feathers all over the veranda. Now, after that, when they are getting the signs like this from Timothy, when he was getting less friendly, so he was chained up more often. That means many times in a day. So finally, actually, when he used to stalk Mahmood as well in the house, and everybody observed that it looks like villainous intent. Okay, so that means like a villain. So its intention actually it looks like that he's something else he wants, that Timothy. So at that time when grandfather saw that there is a villainous intent in this tiger, this Timothy, so grandfather decided that now it is a time to transfer him to a zoo. So there are many things. Even the people all were also scared of him. He was chained up more often, and the way he used to stalk, okay, after rat or pet Pekingese, someone's pet Pekingese, and even actually villainous intent. All these signs actually that forced them, the grandfather, it means that he must be transferred or to a zoo. Now, grandfather took him to Lucknow, where the zoo authorities were only too glad to receive as a gift a well fed and fairly civilized tiger. So, why it is called a well fed civilized tiger? That means he was brought up and he was taken care very well by grandfather and his family. Okay, even civilized because he never killed anybody and even actually never hurt anybody. So that's why we can say actually that he was civilized, because he was staying or brought up to the 6 month, okay, by care of the grandfather's family. Now about 6 months later, when my grandparents were visiting relatives in Lucknow, grandfather took the opportunity of calling at the zoo to see how Timothy was getting on. I was not there to accompany him, but I heard all about it when he returned to Dehradun. Now, grandfather decided, and it was handed over to the Lucknow zoo authorities. And after 6 months, when grandparents they visited their relatives in Lucknow, so they got an opportunity actually to see, okay, to go to the zoo to see how Timothy was doing, okay, how he is, right? And the narrator could not accompany them, okay, But when grandparents returned from the Lucknow to Dehradun, so he heard all about Timothy and how he was doing there. Arriving at the zoo, grandfather made straight for the particular cage in which Timothy had been interned. What is the meaning of interned? Imprisoned. The tiger was there, crouched in a corner, full grown, and with a magnificent striped coat. That is wonderful. That is magnificent was wonderful, amazing. Understood, when he was in cage. So after 6th month, before that he was handed over to Lucknow authorities of the zoo. When grandfather arrived at the zoo, so he went to that particular cage where Timothy was imprisoned. So he was there. He was in a corner, crouched, comfortable, full grown. He was fully grown because 6 months already passed. That means you can say 12 months, that is year. And now actually on his body that was a wonderful, magnificent striped coat. Okay, so today we will keep up to this, but there are some questions which we must know in this second part of this lesson number 5. Why did grandmother say we are going to find Timothy sitting on Mahmud's bed and no sign of the cook except his clothes and shoes? So I think that was first grandmother actually, which she noticed that and she's scared, having fear, because that Timothy was grown up 6 months and he was almost the size of a retriever. Okay, so might be she was having a doubt that one day, or in a prophetic manner she declared it, and she was having this doubt that one day actually might be this tiger, that is Timothy, would kill him. Okay, because there are some time actually when Timothy was sitting on the bed and Mahmud was not there and his clothes and shoes were only there, right? Now the second question is, what sort of change came over Timothy after 6 months? Yes, already we discussed, he was becoming less friendly and he was even stalking after the rat and someone's what it was, someone's pet Pekingese. Okay, and not only that, but grandfather also discovered that he was stalking after Mahmud in a villainous intent. Okay, so this was the change, and even actually the people nearby the grandfather's house, they were also scared, and he was often chained more often. So all these were the change in him. Okay, now next question, why did grandfather decide to transfer Timothy to the zoo? I think actually already I gave you the answer. The previous one is also related with this only. What change actually it was, some of the part actually, and some that later part actually I discussed already of this question only. I think that is because he was having a villainous intent, the way actually he used to stalk Mahmud, right? So that's all for today. So in the next part we will finish the explanation of this lesson number 5. Thank you.